Talking Mayans MC Season 4. We're already in episode 4, guys. We are already in episode 4. Um, I don't know if it's just like, I'm tired and I just watched the episode, or I have a bad taste from the Moon Knight finale. But is it just me, or did you find this episode kind of boring? Because other than the reveal at the end, it was kind of boring. And I'm going to explain how this is the type of episode I normally like when it comes to playing or a character type episode, right? Talking about the plot lines and character interactions. I'll explain why it didn't necessarily work in this episode, but yes, I'm going to address what I heard about Coach saying, Tig is back, officially back, more to come, exciting news and all that stuff. But that's all good, fine and dandy, but we're not there yet. We're here. We're in the present. I am in the present right now. And I felt like this episode was lackluster. This is my fear with a lot of the times with the Mayans MC seasons, is that it starts off strong and then it kind of struggles a little bit and then it kind of picks up more and then it's just not consistent. I love episodes where characters are interacting, where it doesn't necessarily have to move the plot, forward too much. Like it has its own thing going on in like episodes. You've seen this in many series. I'm assuming a lot of shows that you've watched. The problem is the interactions and the story that they tell with these characters sometimes is lackluster, man. Sometimes the dialogue, sometimes overall, just there's nothing. When you're writing and you're having characters say stuff, there has to be meaning to it. There has to be a sense of like this, trying to convey what you're trying to say about the particular moment or this in general episode. I didn't get that in this. I didn't say it was, I'm not saying it's like horrible. Like there was a lot of aspects I did like, of course the bishop and the easy little dilemma going on, the tensions there, the Conchi nobody can move forward, right? Even though it was Easy's plan to begin with, it's kind of frustrating. It's kind of funny to see that, Easy doesn't want these guys to be, number one, the king. And, Bishop he's on to something, because there is that power. Just because Bishop is like lost in his own mind doesn't mean that Easy, we've seen this in Jax, right? Jax had a great freedom hippie kind of mind, but then he became ruthless, and it was a little bit of a power struggle with him and a little bit of power hungry. You got to be a little bit power hungry if you're going to be number one. You got to gloat. Or not gloat, but you got to just basically, you got to be a little bit ruthless, and you got to want to take what is, I guess, you think is yours. So Easy is, I can see that a little bit. I can see the little transition of, where he started and then where he might be. There is a little parallels between him and Jax. There's definitely some name drops in this episode, with Jax being name dropped with Alvarez, and then Chids being name dropped towards the end of this episode. Here's what I knew was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen this fast, but we find out where Miguel is. It looks like he's kind of like a little missionary kind of spot. The nuns have taken him in. It reminded me of the Hound in, like, what was it, season 6, I believe, when he was off and with these people and they all die. So Miguel really reminded me of the Hound in this episode. So Miguel's alive. Like I said, I thought there was no way they were going to kill this character off screen. It's so funny when I'm seeing Miguel and then I'm just thinking Emily is so scared that Miguel is going to go after her. He's a little bit busy at the moment. But you see that whole thing. It's really kind of to reintroduce and see where he is. You see like these guys looking for, he befriends like a little kid. You see these guys looking for the kid and the dad. It's the LNG. Is it LNG? Crew, the cartel. So yeah, Miguel's in it. I just really didn't think that he was going to be in it through the whole season, but it looks like he's, a little bit halfway here through the season already. He's here. I absolutely did not like how they just really kind of, like I said, was it really necessary with the Randall thing? If they weren't gonna really kind of, it was really just washed. It was an afterthought, honestly. How they really kind of handled that was basically Angel, Easy, and Manny, which I'm starting to really like Manny's character, but then he leaves. I'm pretty sure he's going to come back at some point, especially with this war. Him and Easy are, you know, BFFs now. But just the way they like, you know, all three of them is basically that moment where you see in media sometimes where we're like, I did it. I'm the papa. I'm the dad. You know, basically them taking blame for that whole situation. And Manny really chalked it up. Like he was quick on it. He's basically saying like, first of all, the kid isn't. You know, everybody was right. The kid is not the son of Randall. It's just some random ass kid. And then what I did like though was everybody's like, "Oh, you did the right thing." Even Alvarez was like, "Dude, you did the right thing, Angel. Like you shot that motherfucker." Like I'm glad the morals of the club is really a shine in this episode. Other than Conche, who knows the ramifications with El Vaquero, but knowing, I mean, it's kind of crazy that Conche would kind of like. I get it. Conche is like in a, he knows this thing needs to get done, even if Randall was a piece of crap. But like, I like how Alvarez and everybody's like, yeah, he did the right move. Even Manny's like, oh, you did the right thing, man. Like right away, like everybody said you did the right thing. But to chalk it off, to chalk it up just like that, and just like, why even bring the storyline just because they needed something to go wrong, basically. But there was no really. I really feel like they really mishandled everything on that. You know, when I talked about my video, messaging the message, you know, really showcasing what goes on. That's already out the window in this episode. So I'm not going to talk about it too much about that, but I am very disappointed that why would you even bring this in if you're not going to handle it right? So there's a lot of handling in this episode. I just want to sit in that writing room and ask, you know, okay, so you know, we're gonna have a creeper scene, which I'm glad that like I said in my previous reviews, that I'm glad that we're getting more shine on a lot of these members, and it does starting to feel like more of a club. There's a lot of, especially with Easy getting that kind of like book of laws, and then you're seeing more of the club activities. But I swear to God, if I hear Taza say, "I don't recognize this club no more," I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna lose my mind. But you know, when you have Creeper, and I like, you know, his little girlfriend and stuff, but it's a scene where yes, we're getting more Creeper, but how is this really moving? We should have got this 2 seasons ago, right? This is the type of dialogue and scenes we should have got early on. If you're gonna give me scenes with a lot of these characters, you need to really kind of, it really needs to stick out. That what was so great about like Game of Thrones or Narcos or any of those caliber shows is that the dialogue and the interaction that the characters have, you were sitting down and you were listening. I was getting a little bit bored, honestly, with a lot of the dialogue and the character interactions, and I want that, and I want to see more of these characters, but I want the writers to really push the envelope and really give me something to be engaged in. And I'm just really not engaged. I feel like I was watching a freaking Walking Dead episode. Some like with the Walking Dead, it was sometimes it was so bad listening to a lot of these characters and nothing happening. This is what kind of the episode felt like, but there was some sprinkles in there that got me excited and I really enjoyed. So yeah, them watching over that plot line. I mean, you have you have a little bit of Taz and Hank in this episode. I think the Angel and Nails situation. Angel, I would think maybe later on this is really going to play in his head about that whole situation with Randall. Maybe, I don't know. It didn't really seem like it in this episode going forward, because he is afraid of screwing this child's life up. But the whole Angel and Nails relationship, I don't really care for. I think the interesting too was, so that postcard I believe was from Gabby, and Easy was going to patch up his relations with Felipe, who looks like he was closing down shop or something like that. And but he sees the postcard, and once again the relationship dissolves. But Felipe goes to Angel towards the end of this episode, and they have a nice little moment. I really like Coco and Hope's relationship, and I really felt generally happy when it looked like, Coco was trying to make an excuse that he couldn't make it. But then he's like, oh, nah, I'm going to get you, girl. After work, I'm going to get you. Of course, when somebody says they're going to do that, show 101, like, of course they're not going to be there. It didn't make sense that he wasn't there just to pick her up and drop her off and tell her the whole situation, because Alvarez wants Coco to go to Oakland and really kind of, get the relationships going as good as it used to be. Like, it's really bad overall situation with all kind of like the charters in Oakland in general, especially when he heard those two guys talking and really hating being at Santo Padre. So Coco's going to Oakland. We might not see him in a couple episodes, but his relationship with Hope is strange. So maybe Hope is going to kind of lean on Letty, and they're going to really talk about just kind of bond more, basically. Bishop's losing it, man. He's banging like the widow. He's doing coke. He's telling his new VP, shove it up your ass. Like, and then we saw Alvarez's wife saying, I invite a bishop, Obispo, and we're gonna, you guys are hard-headed. You guys are just not, you guys got to get over that shit. But Easy, of course, coming over to Bishop's house and wanting to what was it? It was something by law, something where everybody has a vote to really take out, could relieve, what was it, the president or vice president duties. It all is a unanimous vote. It's not just El Patrino like saying you're gone. Like, everybody has a vote for confidence in either, whoever's in charge. Either, but if they don't have confidence in them, you're out. Which is, like I said, weird, because Easy's the one that set the whole One King plan going. This is kind of his mess. So, like I said, man, we're going to see a different style of Easy probably in the future kind of episodes. There's a lot. There's quite a bit to unpack. I mean, Gilly's whole plot line too. I know who that is. It's CM Punk. CM Punk's the man. But it took me out of the episode because I do know who CM Punk is. I do know wrestling, and I'm just like, this is definitely, I mean, we've had cameos and we've had stars come in, special guests before. I mean, of course, Sons of Anarchy had tons of them, but it was just kind of like, okay. It was whatever. The brother in arms kind of thing, the party, the whole situation. Like, it was, when you look at that scene, just listen to the dialogue. Like, who talks like this, right? I get Gilly's like kind of like, he's hesitant to be back. That's his brother. And then, of course, it just doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel natural at all. It feels like, I don't know, a script right there, and we're watching people read the script and act it out. I wasn't really a fan of the whole thing there. It just was a lot of like, is this, how long do we have? What is going on here? Why we are in episode 4. We're going to episode 5. We're halfway done in the season, and I felt like this truly was the episode where things didn't start moving until the very end. And even I have to question the very end of this episode. I'm trying to think if I'm missing stuff. I mean, there was no Emily in this episode. There was Nestor becoming a prospect. I think I said that was probably going to happen. So he's got to start his way in the bottom and move up. It looked a little weird in the prospect, in the cut. But I'm glad that Nestor is involved and is in the club, and, he does get a cut. What else is there? This didn't make any sense. Like, why is Jesse talking about the whole Montez situation right outside the club? Go home and talk about it. Get your ass home and talk about it. It's just there. I don't know, man. I don't know what is going on. San Bernardino definitely wants some war happening. Wants to know what it's a frustrating episode. It's like, it's not my cup of tea kind of episode. it was definitely way slower paced than I liked. So many interactions, so many of just like shine on a lot of different characters in here, which I appreciate, but it just wasn't executed very well because the dialogue was very boring. When you have boring dialogue, I'm saying like you're just not engaged, and I want the writing to be better, and I want this or situations to be better. If you're gonna put these characters in situations, I would like it to have a little more oomph. Why? We live in 2022, but yet writing still seems to it's either a hit or a miss for a lot of shows, not just Mayans MC. So let's talk about the ending. I think everybody's very like enthusiastic about the whole ending, but questioning about the ending. At least I am. Right? We know Alvarez dropped Jax's name in this episode, and now he said that was his friend. Who else is his friend? Who else is his he's cool with? Chibs. So Chibs, of course, Tommy Flanagan saying that he's not going to come back, and I think you have to bring him back at some point. But Chibs gave the okay for war. He gave the okay without even talking to Alvarez, without even us seeing him react in this whole situation, like him even like talking to the crew, like, hey, this is what's going down, and I'm gonna give the okay. Like, you need that visual confirmation, right? You want to see Chib's mind work about this whole situation, but he just literally says, all right, yeah, let's do it. We're gonna give the okay. After everything, after knowing Marcus Alvarez, knowing everything, and I get it, Happy came and warned them, and then this is a huge deal because this is all Taza, man. Taza has created this whole mess, and he's still alive. So Bernardino, the two, what was it? I forgot what was the other club, but they basically Chips gave the okay. So there's war that's going to happen, but the thing is, it's not coming from Charming. It's coming from other charters, which makes absolutely no sense. Montez was from Charming. I get it. The brotherhood, like everybody's a brotherhood. So one goes down, people are ready to come strike, right? It doesn't matter where you come from, what charter you're at. But personally, obviously, if they had these guys for the whole season or, contract wise, you would have like, a Sons of Anarchy main players being in this season, which would have been cool, but I'm sure, Tig will only be in a couple of episodes. You don't even know if Tommy Flanagan's going to be in there. So I don't know. We talked about it. Me and Sandra, we said that if you're going to do a war, you gotta bring in the OG players because, like I said, you don't know if you're gonna get any more Mayan seasons, right? And it really seemed like Elgin James is betting on one more season, which I said last season, and he got it. So I'm saying he might know something we don't. So he might. FX probably said, no matter what, we're going to give you a whispered in his ear, like, do what you need to do to set up for one more season, your 5 seasons. I don't know. It was a really lackluster episode. That punch Easy gave was a really solid, good camera angle too on that punch. Fantastic. It was okay. I think we're really more looking forward to the actual war, and then hoping that this thing starts moving, because things are not moving. They're still being set up. There's still the El Paquero situation with Conche, like talking to El Paquero, like it wasn't, El Paquero didn't make he didn't make a decision on whether to kill Conche or not. He's mad at this point. Like, we don't know what his moves are going to be in the future. We don't know what's going to happen to Miguel. We don't know what's with Emily. Like this, and the problem is, it's already going to be halfway. It's the halfway point. This episode, feeling long, nothing feeling short at the same time, right? Coming up short on this stuff. Like, you gotta start moving the wheels. You gotta start driving. We're going too slow right now. We need to start going. We need to hit the ground running, and we stopped. We stopped for a break. We need to keep. Come on, go, go, go. So that's my thoughts on it, though. I know people are either going to disagree with me or agree with me. I'm happy to, like, talk about this and hearing your guys' thoughts on it. I just felt like this episode wasn't that great, and I'm hoping, I don't know. It's a little frustrating, a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm hoping for the best next episode. I'm hoping for something. I'm hoping for a banger, man. I'm hoping for a 10 out of 10 fire. This was just the calming of the storm. So thank you guys for listening. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Like the video if you like it. Comment below. Love to hear your guys' thoughts. There's going to be more videos, and I'm going to rewatch it again to see if my feelings change or anything like that. So more videos, discussions too, especially Chib's giving the green light. So thank you guys. I'll see you guys later.